See the stream health on this one. Hopefully it's better. Because this last one was garbage. Just excellent connection so far. Let me take a listen. Seems like this one's doing a little bit better. I don't know if the audio is any better. What it sounds like the audio is clipping, but it really shouldn't be clipping. I guess maybe I could try turning down that mic in down to like -10 and see if that makes a difference. Alright, so I turned it down now, but it really hasn't been picking up so much sound that it should be clipping anyway, so we'll see. No, I mean it's still running the same. It's for whatever reason I just can't use my headphones as a mic for this. It's not good enough quality. Alright, well nobody's going yet, so I'll go. Yeah, third gear through there has no power. I thought I was gonna make that one. I do think it is weird that I'm getting frame drops even just in my gameplay because my GPU is maxed out and my CPU. Oh no no no! I should have been watching the road. Um, and my CPU is not maxed out. You know, I'm running 60% on occasion for my CPU, and my GPU it always shows 100%. Pretty much as long as you're doing almost anything, it's going to show 100%. But the wattage is what really shows you how much work it's doing. And I've got it set up to do about 127 watts or so. It's really only running at like 110 or 114 I just saw right now. So it shouldn't be having this issue. And then Cortana always pops up. Oh, I hate you, Cortana. Both of those guys are going. I'll go right after them. Boom. What is that guy doing? Why? Why must you do that? Why must you do that right there? Do it at the end of the track. Not at the start. I don't know if that FD is drifting or not, but if it's not, let's see if I can fend him off for a while. Oh, went too deep. I didn't get in early enough there. through that one okay. He's still chasing me. I don't know if he still is now. He might have eaten it. He's over that right corner right now. I do often. Oh, I died. Alright, fine. Let's see. Was he still coming? I don't see him. Maybe he went back to the... Maybe he did eat it. Went back to the pits. Alright, so now I'm back at the pits. And I know you get the best lap time by starting at the back, all the way up by the signs. Oh no, I'm blowing it already, but I am getting a lot of frame drops. As opposed to starting from the turnouts on the sides like I just did, but whatever. As long as I start like that every time, then I can see my relative performance, if I'm getting any better or any worse. Whack. Some more frame drops, awesome. Man, when you eat it right there and you crash right in that thing, come to a dead stop. It's really soul crushing. And I've been hoping I'm gonna get a 6800 XT when it comes out, but there are a couple issues with that. One is I've got a micro ATX case. The other is within this micro ATX case I have a wireless LAN card, which takes up my lowest slot, so I don't actually have enough pipes there to fit a card thicker than what I've got now pretty much, which is an RX 480 reference. And there's like a 15 millimeter difference between this and the RX 6800 XT. But I mean, part of that height comes from the back plate, which this doesn't have. So realistically, I could probably fit like a what would be labeled as like a 44, 45 millimeter card, but I definitely couldn't fit a 50. I'd have to get a different motherboard. So what I'm gonna have to do is get a B550M motherboard, making sure that the first PCIe slot is high up enough that, oh no, that it gives me enough room to fit that 50 millimeter card in. Blew it. Too slow. Too wide. And so what I was thinking was, I mean, instead of spending all that money, of just getting a 5700 XT, or a 2060 Super, or a 2070, or whatever, something in that range. I mean, I like AMD's software, the Radeon software, which is why kind of am thinking of sticking with AMD. And also the 5700 XT is a great value. I mean, when you're comparing how it does to the 2060 or the 2070 or the supers of either of those, it actually does a pretty good job. And it you know, like anything else, it's dependent upon the game, but they're pretty close enough. And I mean, I'm gaming right now on an RX 480 at like, pretty low settings, I guess, in 1440p, or I could crank them way up and do it in 1080p, but I choose not to just because I already have my display settings in general at 1440p, and then if I set the game to 1080, then like it doesn't take up my whole screen, so I have to change my display resolution and stuff just to get it to fit the frame. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just play it in 1440p lower settings. And I mean, it's handling it okay. This is a lower card, and it's still like maintaining 80 degrees and under, and supposedly, according to the top right, 60 frames. And it is doing that for the most part, but then when I get those frame drops like I did right then, not so much. Looks like 15 minutes. It's like maybe even less than 15 on occasion. Which, if I just went to a 5700 XT, the performance difference between this and that is pretty big. This is an RX 48 gig graphics card, not the 4 gig. But yeah, the performance difference between the two is pretty huge. And they sell, most of them are actually too big to fit in this case as well. They're too thick for the same reason as the RX 6800 XT. The 6800 would not be a problem. 6800 would fit. 6800 XT is the one that's the issue. But the 5700 XT is also, most of the models are pretty big. The front left tire is a little low on pressure. The rears are perfect right now. Front left will go up by 1, okay. But yeah, you can get like a Power Color 5700 XT, or even like the red Dragon, not the Red Devil variant, and fit it in this case pretty comfortably because it's actually a really small card, and according to some benchmarks, the thermals are not horrible on it for being such a small card. And to go from a lower RX 480 to a Shroud 5700 XT, I'm sure would be quieter anyway, and the performance difference should be pretty big, to the extent that I should be able to turn this up to basically max settings in 1440p, or medium low settings in 4K with reasonable frame rate. But yeah, that would be quite an improvement over what I'm currently running. And so far, I've been pretty happy with it as is. No, it came out a little too early there. Blew it. Looks like I could come in a little bit sooner on that first part of that turn, and then I'll end up pushing it a little wide, and then I come right back in after to hit that second apex. I haven't managed to do it just yet, but it does seem like that would be the optimal way to do it. Kind of like that, where you double apex the corner. Oof. A little late on the throttle there. Oh, how did I make contact there? Sometimes I make contact and I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, at the worst, I should have scraped a little bit. Shouldn't have bounced me off the wall like that, but those are the brakes, I guess. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to take that corner. I'm obviously messing it up. What are you talking about right now? Let me get out of the way before somebody's run gets ruined. Alright, whatever. José Estevel says, Oi. ¿Cómo está? Pues está bien. That was 8 minutes ago, so hoping maybe he's not even in anymore. Let's see. 87, 80, 81. I mean, I guess I could stand to drop that by a little bit because it's not exactly centered like over here as well. 78 and 82. I should have 80 center, but I've got 81 center, so I'm going to drop that. Do the same thing to the left side, even though I had raised it because it was actually a little bit low. That's not the case anymore. This one, I'm getting a little too hot in the center compared to the outside. So maybe with that toe adjustment, it's just heating the tires a little differently. And so I should adjust my camber so I can have a little less negative camber in the rear left. Oops. Of course I went negative and it increased the negative camber. Okay. There we go. The toe is still just about zeroed out. It's actually a little bit positive, but I don't think I can adjust it any further than that. The front is bouncing between negative and positive, which is exactly what I want. I apologize for the audio quality of this stream. I'm aware that it has been very poor. Excellent connection still so far here. And I don't know if OBS gives me my notifications. The notifications that this stream has been good so far, aside of, I'm sure, my audio quality, which is likely atrocious. I blew it already. First corner, I've already messed up my run. Getting a little too close. Alright, let's go back. Let's go back. Those guys just took off and nobody else is leaving. So let's get top. I was wrong. Sorry, guy. There's no way you would ever get any kind of tire squeal in third gear in one of these cars. From throttling. I haven't fallen behind a ton yet. Let's see if I can. Nope. Ruined it. Spoke too soon. And I'll tell you, seeing that in person is horrifying. Is that the same guy? Looks like it might be. I mean, it seems like in order to try to chase anybody or lead anybody, I'm gonna have to be in a car that has semi-slicks as an option, because there's no way I was gonna get close to this kind of performance on those street tires. If I could stop dropping frames right now, that would be awesome. And I was not in place to try to apex anything right now. I mean, that guy's obviously much faster than I am for this section. There he is. Man, I wish I had a steering wheel. This would be so much more fun. See how he does in this high-speed section. I mean, his car's fast, so it's gonna be faster here. Oh, he ate it. Okay, he was able to exit in time. I mean, but that's expected when you're like really trying to run at your limit and trying to outdo your times and stuff, that you're like running very close to the edge of your abilities, and as a result, any slight mistake is gonna push you out. And he was definitely going faster than I was. I wonder if I've gotten a message back from that offer up inquiry. It's funny how effective they made the gutters. The whoever it was that made this track. Because when you can catch them, it makes a big difference. Seems like a slightly later apex is preferable, but on the occasions where I've tried it, I end up eating it, so. Oh no. You can see from the player. Feeling good about this latter part of my run, but I mean, my time's already kind of shot from when the 370 spun out. .547. I'm happy with that. I was wrecked there at the end, but that's okay. The tires. 78, 77, 74, 77, 78, 78. It's still gonna drop even more. Down one and down one. The rears are still good. I finally get to 70. What time is it? 2:20. Can't do this for much longer. I have not yet gotten a reply regarding the steering wheel. I don't know if I should do it. No. Should be more frugal than I've been. These guys are going for it. There goes that 370 again. There's an 8.6 that looks like he's lagging out of control right now. Throw in another. That guy's still lagging, so I'm just gonna go ahead. have to understeer right at the exit there. Barely made it. Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna make this one. Oh, I did. A little bit slowly, but I went off track, looked like. Just barely. Oh, I blew it there. And he's gonna be right up on top of me. There he is. Alright, I exited. Did exit where I wanted to, but I ended up. See if you can do it. Let me get out of the way. What's that? It's a blue spirit art, should be. Lazy bunny, maybe. Camille looks not happy. He's driving around 34, but I haven't had any contact with him or anything. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here for now. If anybody has watched this at any time, you have a good night. 547, 858, there it is. Which means these guys are smoking me. Although I haven't tried this car, so I don't know if they have slick options or not. But if they're running the same tires I am, which is the semi-slicks, man, they are really smoking me. Stream health has been good. No notifications about dropped frames or anything. That's good.